Welcome back to another episode of Two Big Things. I'm Stephen Means and that's Stefan Krajisnik. Every Tuesday we come to you during the season to discuss the things that we're just interested to talk with Ryan Day about as the Buckeyes continue to move through the 2025 season. They're preparing for UCLA and their second to last home game of the regular season. And this would be the first time since 2001 that Ohio State and UCLA have met. UCLA won that last meeting in Pasadena. No one's won back-to-back, though. In fact, they played 9 times, tied once. UCLA's won 4 times, and Ohio State's won 4 times, though nobody's expecting UCLA to win on Saturday. So maybe Ohio State just breaks the tiebreaker. Stefan, what are you intrigued to talk with Ryan Day about this week?
So Marcus Freeman was talking about something at Notre Dame during his Monday press conference about their game against Navy, right? And the benefits of having recruits at that game and experience that environment and the way that recruits talked about, that environment, right? And Ohio State finally gets a November home night game. I think that's the first time since the Michigan State game a few years ago. So Ohio State's got an opportunity here where they're not dealing with, I know some high school seasons are over, some are still going on in the postseason, but you're not dealing with kids from, wherever having to make it in time for a noon kickoff, right? Like we're talking about recruits and families having plenty of time to make it to Ohio Stadium for a game, get to experience kind of that night environment at Ohio Stadium. And I think there's a lot of benefits to that, right? It's the penultimate home game of the season against UCLA. Like you said, I don't know if anyone expects this game necessarily to be close. I think Ohio State's favored by 30 points or so, but you get a chance, you get a rare opportunity where you have a home night game late in the season for recruits to really experience the environment and all that comes with that. So not only do I think fans and Ohio State's players and Ohio State's coaches benefit from a cool environment like that, you also get recruits and their families to experience it. And especially this time of the year where we see Ohio State flipping some kid, getting some commitments, it's pretty important, to make a lasting impression. And this is this Saturday's opportunity to do that.
Hey, Ryan, you finally get to do something in the regular season. Are you going to take advantage of it? But it's tough because UCLA is not very good. So the list of visitors probably isn't going to be like crazy expansive, right? This isn't going to be what they put together for the Penn State game or for the Texas game. But I'm sure there will be somebody coming in at some point. But also, it's a good point. I'm like, hey, man, you've got an opportunity to kind of – and maybe it's not just a question for Day. It's a question for Ross because it's like, hey – they're not guaranteed to get a home game. And it's not because they're in a position where maybe they play on the road. It's because the way their season is going, they're probably not going to be playing in the first round. As long as they handle business during the regular season. If they get to Indianapolis and it's them and Indiana both undefeated, I mean, what's the worst? They're going to be 4. So they're still going to end up with a bye anyway. So this might legitimately be their last chance at Ohio Stadium in a night environment to put on a show for the fans. And so there are things that you just kind of want to do anyway. And so because of that, it's almost like, hey, fans, it's worth showing up to this game. It's a night game. It might be a little chilly because it's November, but this is it, right? This is the ultimate version of Ohio State being able to put on a show. You're sure we'll see some drone lights and a bunch of other stuff, right? So it should be fun. It should be fun. This is a good week to ask a question like that, too. It's like, hey, Ryan, I don't care about this game. I care about the environment. I want to ask about Ethan and Yawa specifically. And obviously the bigger conversation is about right guard and what happens there. And we'll probably get updates on Josh Padilla, who did not play, Phillip Daniels, who traveled but did not play. Taiwan Malone, I don't even think we realized this on the Monday pod that Taiwan Malone did not play on Saturday. So I'm sure we'll get updates on that. And he traveled and didn't play. Carnell Tate traveled and didn't play. I'm sure we'll get all the injury updates on. If not Tuesday, we'll get them Wednesday afternoon after they practice, right? But Ethan Yawa has gone from this guy, you brought him in from Rice to be your starting left tackle to, oh, maybe he's going to be your right tackle to, oh, maybe he's going to play guard to, oh, he's rotating as the 6th offensive lineman, so now he's not even a part of the equation. And I did feel like he showed some things on Saturday that maybe this isn't just a Josh Padilla Tegra Shabola conversation, or maybe it is, but it's using him as a bigger picture conversation of the portal and why Ohio State approaches it the way they do, because sometimes you go in there and you get a guy you think is going to be a starter and it just kind of backfires on you. And this could be worse, right? Austin Saraveld could have not turned into what he's turned into, and now you're stuck with this for a year, right? Luckily for Ohio State, they are not having to pay for missing in the portal, but maybe just using Ethan and Yawa to evaluate the portal class as a whole. Did you get what you needed out of the portal, not just in terms of the bodies, but in terms of the impact you were expecting guys to make? And I guess, like, what's the type of expectations you have when you're searching around in the portal for what you are looking for on a year in and year out basis?
Yeah, it definitely puts an emphasis again on retention and how difficult it can be sometimes to hit on guys in the portal. Like, you look at other teams around the country, like Indiana, they went out and got Zen Mahalski, and a lot of people thought that was going to be their answer,
Yep.
along the offensive line. It's like, well, no, they found other solutions, right, and haven't had to completely rely on him. Whereas you maybe look around the country at some teams that are struggling, and some of the portal misses are really haunting them and are a big reason why they're struggling to get off the mat. So it is fascinating because Ohio State, it's like, it's kind of been boom or bust, it feels like, in the portal, right? Like, either a guy completely doesn't work out, or it's like Caleb Downs, Max Clare, Quinshon Judkins, guys who just, Seth McLaughlin, guys who deliver time and time again for you and are among, Seth McLaughlin won the Remington. Caleb Downs is a Thorpe Award finalist this year. Like, there's so many layers to what has happened with portal pieces for Ohio State. And Ethan Owenyawa seems to maybe be one of the lesser examples of things working out. But that said, it again puts an emphasis on Austin Sareville's development, the stuff Tyler Bowen is doing behind the scenes, and also cross training, right? I think that's been one of the more important parts of what Ohio State has done these past couple of years, is have its offensive linemen ready to play multiple positions, so that when we say put your best five out there, I think it's genuinely your best five and not your best four plus a guy who can only play this position for you. So yeah, it's been fascinating the way it's all worked out. And I think part of what makes it interesting is that, we're recording this on November 10th, and we're not done with the Ethan Owenyawa conversation, because what if he is this team's starting right guard for the college football playoff? Like, I don't think you can rule that out yet. So maybe there's still, a story to be told about what Ethan Owenyawa's value to this team is. And maybe, it's January 20th and we're sitting there being like, it's a good thing Ohio State went out and got Ethan Owenyawa in the portal.
Yeah. It's just, I think, to your point, there's been hits and there's been misses, but this has probably been the loudest miss in terms of maybe what you thought back in December, when it was clear they were going to add him, where we were in the spring when he was the only guy who was not cross training. He was strictly at left tackle. Everybody else was cross training. To now, he's not really part of the equation. And the only reason he was a part of the equation on Saturday is because you were missing your right tackle and the other guy who's in the conversation to be right guard. And so you saw Ethan and Yawa play 9 snaps at right tackle and 3 snaps at right guard. And just how's that going? Maybe is the overwhelming question in that situation. But that's what we're thinking about this week. 614-350-3315. We record this on Monday, as Stefan just revealed, but you're seeing this on a Tuesday. So as you're watching this, we are headed into the Woody to go ask Ryan Day these exact questions plus more, and we go straight to the text with his answers before anywhere else. 614-350-3315, 2-week free trial, $3.99 after that. And if you like this, we do this but longer on a podcast called Buckeye Talk. So go listen to that wherever you find podcasts. And also, we go live on Wednesdays. This week we were watching the first round of the college football playoff against Tennessee, the last time Ohio State played Nico Iamaleava. It's because we wanted to have some fun this week. So for Stefan Krajisnik, I'm Stephen Means. Talk to you later.